So indicators, the lowest score would be 3 points. The highest is 7. So apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum in teaching areas. Number 2, plan and deliver teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illnesses, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resentment or disasters, child abuse, and other labor practices. So it means that you must suit the demonstration based on the context. For example, you can imagine yourself doing the virtual demonstration as if you are having an online class wherein you cannot interact with your students in face-to-face basis. So the approach that you will apply now is as if you are doing an online class. Then, select, develop, organize, and use appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. So, in your demonstration, I want to see what type of materials have you developed out of the materials that you have. For example, have you utilized ICT? Have you used PowerPoint presentation or anything that you can use in your demonstration to give vivid description or light to the presentation or to the demonstration that you are working with? So let's see. The acuity or the flawlessness of your demonstration also depends upon the use of internet connectivity, as well as the proper use of your, for example, you are using your laptop or your cell phone or any device that you will use on your demonstration teaching. So going back with number 1, apply knowledge and content within across in curriculum teaching area. So it means that that is the lesson proper itself. How did you deliver the lesson? So all in all, we just have 3 indicators. But before pandemic, in a face-to-face session, the indicators are 7, and those should be observed. But now I will only use the one used in the new normal or in face-to-face, the new normal or in virtual or distance modality. Okay, so now I will be using the spinner to determine who will be the first to demonstrate. So make sure you have sent the lesson plan already. So we will make it systematically. So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
May I hear, are you ready now? I will just charge my laptop.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We are born ready.
Okay, so for those who are doing the live presentation, your classmates may serve as your student. So you have the live interaction. But if you have the pre-recorded video, it's also okay. So we will just pretend that you are interacting with your students. Okay, so I will be clicking the spinner now to determine who will be the first to demonstrate what you have prepared for this performance task. So, who will be the first to present? Okay, Roma, may have you messaged me earlier that you are not feeling well? Am I right? Roma, may I confirm? Is Roma May here?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Roma may message me. Is it Bulat Kopo or Roma?
Rama, ma'am. She's not feeling well.
Oh. Yes. So I will be giving Roma May another chance to have the demo since you are not feeling well. So we will remove her in the list first. Okay. The first presenter is Francesca Jason de Chavez.
Oh my
Okay, are
God.
you ready, Francesca? Oh, I
Yes,
will share this tab instead. Okay. So you're the one being chosen by the spinner, as you can see on the screen.
okay, ma'am. I'll
Okay,
be
so I
participating.
will let you have your screen sharing. I will end screen sharing.
Ma'am, I'm open to criticism. I really don't know how to make a lesson plan the right one because we haven't thought about it yet. But I have a video presentation. I hope you can guys like it somehow. And I hope it's right.
Okay, so thank you so much, Francesca. Okay, the screen is yours.
Can you see the screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Please tell me if you can hear the sound. Good day, everyone. My name is Francesca Zara, the Java from College of
Yes.
Science and Technology. Guys, can you hear the sound? Okay. I will
Yes.
proceed. Good day, everyone. My name is Francesca Zara, the Chavez from College of Sciences, Technology, and Communications Incorporated, Sariaya, Quezon. Today, I will be having a teaching demonstration in Grade 9 English for first quarter. Before I proceed to the teaching demonstration, let me first show you the pivot idea lesson exemplar format that I used. The first part is the objectives. Letter A, content standards. The learner demonstrates communicative competence through his or her understanding of literature and other text types for a deeper appreciation of Philippine culture and those of other countries. B, performance standards. The learner actively participates in a speech part through using effective verbal and nonverbal strategies based on the following criteria: focus, voice, delivery, facial expressions, body movements or gestures, and audience contact. C. Learning competencies or objectives. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to A. Supply interjections in explaining the images in the PowerPoint presentation. B. Identify the different types of interjections. C. Define the meaning of interjections. D. Recognize interjections in sentences. E. Construct sentences including the appropriate interjections. F. Create a comic strip including interjections. And letter G. Use interjections to convey meaning. Letter D. Most essential learning competencies are milk. Use interjections to convey meaning. E. Enabling competencies. First, communication, written and oral. The ability to communicate complex matters effectively by listening, understanding, speaking, and writing with clarity, and using the art of persuasion and negotiation. Second, self-management. The ability to manage one's own performance, soliciting feedback from others, and acting upon it to improve one's behavior, as well as recognizing one's limits and seeking advice where needed. And the last one, professional and ethical behavior, the ability to act ethically with honesty, integrity, credibility, self confidence, and independence while coping with ambiguity, conflicts of interest, and the need to protect the public interest. The second part is the content. The content of this lesson is all about interjections. The third part is the learning resources. I use PowerPoint presentation, pictures, and video. A references. Here are the links. A. Teacher's Guide Pages, International Journal of English Language and Linguistics Research, Volume 4, Number 5, page 1 to 14. B. Learner's Material Pages. Here is the link. C. Textbook pages in book Estudios de Metodología de la Lengua Inglesa, Volume 5, page 23 to 33. D. Additional materials from learning resources. Here are the links. B. List of learning resources for development and engagement activities. I used pictures, graphic organizer or cluster, and then rubrics. The fourth part is the procedures. A. Introduction. Observe the pictures below and answer the following questions. Okay, class, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to observe the pictures. And I'm going to call someone to answer the following questions. Okay, are you done? Okay, who wants to answer the first question? Number 1. What have you observed in the picture? Okay, Miss Julianne, what have you observed in the picture? Okay, ma'am, I observed that the pictures include dialogues and different expressions inside the speech bubble. Thank you, Miss Julianne, for your answer. So, class, can you read the dialogues with feelings and emotions? Who wants to go first? Okay, Ma'am Jovelyn? Don't blame me. It's your fault. How about you, Miss Jasmine? Oy, my legs hurt. Okay, thank you. How about you, Miss Meredith? Try to understand? What is there to understand? How about you, Miss Sandra? Hey, look out! Shouted Patty. Okay, how about you, Ma'am Christelle? Alas, my phones have some limitations. Okay, how about you, Miss Charlie? Oh dear, I've broken the light. How about you, Miss Mary? Aw, what a lovely baby. How about you, Miss Nicole? It was a fox. Okay, class, thank you so much for your participation. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, now class, what have you noticed on the underlined words? Okay, yes, Miss Angelica. Ma'am, I noticed that the underlined words express a strong feeling or emotion. So now, can you give other words that express a strong feeling or sudden emotion? Hooray! Yippee! Wow! So now, guys, what do you think is our lesson for today? Okay, Miss Julianne, I think that our lesson for today is about interjections. Thank you, Miss Julianne, for your answer. Okay, class, before anything else, let me share with you our lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to A. Supply interjections in explaining the images in the PowerPoint presentation. B. Identify the different types of interjections. C. Define the meaning of interjections. D. Recognize interjections in sentences. E. Construct sentences including the appropriate interjections. F. Create a comic strip including interjections. Letter G. Use interjections to convey meaning. Now, class, what are interjections or what is interjection? So when we say interjection, it is a part of speech that expresses strong feeling or sudden emotion. It expresses a sentiment such as surprise, disgust, joy, excitement, or enthusiasm. These words or phrases can stand alone or be placed before or after a sentence. Greetings such as hi and expressions like excuse me are interjections too. Many times an interjection is followed by a punctuation mark, often an exclamation point. Now, class, here is a list of interjections with meanings and example sentences. Remember that this list does not include all interjections, but it does show the more common ones. Who wants to read the first? Okay, Ma'am Jovelyn. Interjection, ouch, meaning exclamation of pain. Example, ouch, that hurts. Stop pinching me. How about you, Miss Jasmine? Interjection, shh, meaning an indication for silence. Shh, the show is about to start. Okay, thank you. How about you, Miss Meredith? Interjection, uh-oh, meaning showing dismay. Example, Uh-oh, the teacher's caught him. How about you, Miss Sandra? Interjection, you, meaning amazement and or relief. You, I can't believe we actually finished it all. Okay, thank you so much. How about you, Miss Judy Ann? Interjection, well, meaning expressing surprise or admiration. Example, wow, that's really great news. Okay, how about you, Ma'am Christelle? Interjection, yeah, meaning variant of yes. Example, yeah, I love some orange juice. Okay, how about you, Miss Charlie? Interjection, yay or yay, meaning congratulatory exclamation. Example, I can't believe you're actually coming here. Yay! How about you, Miss Mary? Interjection, yikes, meaning for fear or concern, but not serious. Example, yikes, my mother's home. How about you, Miss Nicole? Interjection, yippee, meaning exclamation of celebration. Example, yippee, we won, let's head to the bar. Okay, thank you so much, class, to those who participated. Now give yourself again a round of applause. Now, class, here is a short video summarizing this lesson about interjections. Please watch.
What are interjections? Interjections are one of the 9 parts of speech. Here they are in alphabetical order. We're going to be looking at number 5, interjections. Here's a definition for interjection. A word added to a sentence to convey an emotion such as surprise, disgust, joy, excitement, or enthusiasm. Let's start with an example conveying surprise. Gosh, that was an unexpected bonus. Gosh is the interjection. Jeepers, did he win? Jeepers is the interjection. Interjections usually appear at the start of a sentence, but not always, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's look at another one. This time, disgust. Ew, that's disgusting. Ew is the interjection. Yuck, keep away from me. Yuck is the interjection. Okay, the next one, joy. Hooray, the rain has stopped. Yes, we're going home soon. So hooray and yes are the interjections, conveying joy. Now we're not going to go through all of those because I'm going to put up a whole bunch of interjections under 15 specific emotions. And you can pause this and have a look at it in your own time. Notice that lots of interjections are sounds, and some interjections are 2 words. Okay, let's get rid of those. But before we go off interjections, I just want to cover these, and I've just put them under the category others. We have yes, no, indeed, and well. And these are 4 very common interjections, but they don't fit easily under one of the emotions. These 4 are used in many of those categories. So they might be more versatile, and they are common, but they do share one property with all interjections. And that is, an interjection is not grammatically related to any other part of the sentence. Okay, let's get rid of that. The next thing we're going to talk about is punctuation. You might have noticed that the punctuation after the interjections was different. Sometimes it was a comma, sometimes it was a period, sometimes it was an exclamation mark. Okay. Commas and periods, or full stops if you're a Brit, are used for mild interjections. For example, no, that's not true. Or no, that's not true. Notice there's a slight pause there after the second one, and that's when you might opt for a period over a comma. But look at this with an exclamation mark. These are used for strong interjections. No, that's not true. Usually the sentence after an interjection with an exclamation mark also has an exclamation mark. In other words, it's an exclamatory sentence, but that's not always the case. The last thing I want to say about punctuation is you might have noticed that all the interjections we've seen so far have been at the start of sentences. Well, that's not always the case. Sometimes they're in the middle. That is, well, not true. And when an interjection is in the middle, you can only use commas. Okay, that's everything. That's all we're going to say about interjections.
Letter B, development. Okay, class, I'm going to give you activities. On the first part, under letter A, you have to encircle all the interjections you can find in the word search below. Remember, guys, you can search or encircle as many as interjections that you can see. And on the second part, letter B, underline the interjections in the following sentences. Number 1, alas, I'm lost in the wilderness. Number 2, grr, I'm going to get back at him for that. Number 3, wow, Melissa is looking gorgeous. Number 4, oh, the place is so crowded. 5, ah, what a relief. 6, hooray, our team has won the match. 7, yippee, we are going on vacation. 8, hi, where have you been? 9, oh my, the schedule is very hectic. Number 10, oh dear, I don't know what to do about this mess. And letter C, think of possible dialogues and create sentences with appropriate interjection in it. Class, these are the pictures that you're going to make dialogues with. C, engagement. Instruction, choose a scenario below. Use an interjection and write at least 2 sentences related to your chosen scenario. Okay, class, these are the scenarios and you can choose one, whatever you like. The first one is, you're in a new school and you don't know anyone. Second scenario, your best friend's birthday is today. And the last scenario, you forgot your lunch money at home. Now, class, these are for your additional activities. On letter A, put several interjections to complete the cluster below. In letter B, create your own comic strip. Be sure to include interjections that matches the scene you portray per scene. Please note, your work will be graded based on the following rubric. Letter D, assimilation. A, instruction. Add an appropriate interjection in the beginning of each sentence. Number 1, blank, I did it again. Number 2, blank, what a lovely dress. 3, blank, we did it. Number 4, blank, I can hear what he's saying. 5, blank, we've done it. 6, blank, you're right. 7, blank, Jesse got the job. 8, blank, how wonderful. 9, blank, there's nothing great about it. 10, blank, a 7-layer wedding cake. B, instruction. Construct at least 3 to 5 sentences with appropriate interjections on it. Now, class, please take note. Interjections are used to convey emotion in an abrupt and exclamatory way. They express meaning or feeling in a word or two. Using an interjection is a great way to bring life to a conversation. The interjection can be anything from a greeting to a curse or an exclamation. They can be used as independent sentences in response to a comment or situation. The last part is a reflection. The learner communicates the explanation of their personal assessment as indicated in the learner's assessment card. The learner, in their notebook, will write their personal insights about the lesson using the prompts below. I understand that. I realize that. I need to learn more about. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless. That's all, Ma'am. Thank you po.
Wala ata si ma'am.
Wala
Wala
nga
ka nga
ata.
nag-left.
Or baka nakamute si Ma.
Recorded po. Kita kung tayo na left or right.
Jonas, ang puti mo.
Bellow man.
Huwag kang sasama kay...
Only
Kasama
Bellow
kay
man
Glory.
touches my skin. Hey, where is Mom Jennifer?
Ako na lang.
Okay, who will be the next presenter?
Flora daw. Go, Ma'am Flora.
Mami Flora, it's your turn. Or volunteer daw po.
Ako na lang, Char.
Okay, Ate Hana, you may proceed.
Let's have first the live presenter.
Talaga? Hindi ko napansin. Meron palang ano ton.
Hoy, Mansini.
Huwag na po yung may video. Please.
Ano po, Mami?
Video. I'm not ready.
Okay, sorry, my laptop just started, but then it's recorded. I can go back to the presentation. Which do you prefer, class? Giving the feedback after the presentation or after all the presentation, I will be giving the feedback? Because I'm listing here the strong points and the points for improvement for each demonstration teaching. So, which do you prefer? We will finish all the presentations or critiquing first?
Critiquing first, ma'am, para ma-pinpoint po yung mga...
Yes, ma'am. Critiquing first.
Okay. So, I will be going back to the learning plan. Francesca Gisan de Chavez. Okay. Francesca, your learning plan follows the format that I had given, so congratulations for that. Can you hear the comments? Okay. You were able to set the content standards. So class, if you are doing the content standards, actually, it's already given. You can find this on the teacher's guide. So here, if you have utilized the DepEd learning materials, you may be referring to the teacher's guide. So if you found a teacher's guide, you will see the content standards and performance standards. And the performance standards and content standards are also found on the, what do you call to this? To the curricular plan. So it's another document that you can download on DepEd. You don't have to think for those content standards and performance standards because this are already supplied or given. And then, yes, I think you have found the content standards, Jasan. You have found the right reference. And then learning competencies or objectives. For the comments, as I have seen on your presentation, there are lots of objectives in the demonstration teaching. Okay, so class, this is true for everyone. Every time you will do the objective setting, you familiarize yourselves with the Bloom's taxonomy. I guess you have discussed this in your other subjects. The Bloom's taxonomy of learning objectives. May I ask for the response? Have you heard those Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
facilitating learning principles
Yes,
of
po.
teaching.
Yes.
That's being discussed. Can I hear a response? So I have a guide as well. Okay, so you have encountered those. Okay, so
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have here the KSA, the knowledge, skills, and the attitude. So it pertains to the knowledge, psychomotor, and the affective side. So we will be seeing whether the objective set are following those objectives. Okay, correct. Supply interjections. Identify different types of interjections. Define meanings of interjections. Recognize interjections in sentences. Construct sentences including the appropriate interjections. Create a comic strip. Okay, use interjection. So class, for the meantime, we will do the critiquing in the demo, and then this one will not be the final paper or the final learning plan. So after the critiquing, you can inject the suggestions given by your observer. So I will be your observer or rater in other terms, because if you will be having your practice teaching class, when will you have it? Second sem or fourth year? Or fourth year, am I right? Fourth year in service and in campus and off campus, because you will be having the cooperating teacher. So what do you mean by cooperating teacher? So cooperating teacher is the teacher whom you will observe in the demonstration. You will observe, and afterwards you will do the demo in her class. For example, your cooperating teacher is an English teacher from Kanda National High School or from Lutukan, because those schools are the partner schools of CSTC when it comes to deploying practice teachers. So if you will be deployed and having that online class, you will consult your cooperating teacher and you will do the final demo in the teacher's probably virtual classroom, or if face-to-face is available. But of course, we will not have the face-to-face this year. Probably when you're in fourth year, there could be face-to-face. So you would be ready that you will have the cooperating teacher that will be rating you on your demo. So that is what we mean by co-op teacher. Okay, so for setting of objectives, you must follow the format cognitive first, followed by the affective, and then the last is the psychomotor. Are you getting whatever I'm saying now? It's for everyone, not just for Jasan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
And you must also target yourselves. Are the objectives being given? I think we have 7 objectives here. Jasan, you have 7 objectives. So actually, Jasan, you had created too many objectives. Okay, so if we will be relating this to the real scenario, these objectives cannot be achieved in just a single session. So what does it mean? In your learning plan, you have here, you must set, are the objectives achievable within the session or within the week, or how many sessions? Because if it's just a single session, a 3 objectives would be enough. 1 cognitive, 1 affective, 1 psychomotor. But then if your lesson plan is for the whole week, so you can have lots of objectives. And since we only have a single session today of your demo, so it's better if you have lesser objectives. So what is the implication? If you have lots of objectives, class, the tendency is the students will have a crowded activity. So you have lots of things to ask your students to do. Are you getting the scenario? So in other words, if you only have 3 objectives, you can have the elaboration of your lesson. So you will not run out of time. You will not fast track the discussion because you only set few objectives for that day. And for example, you want to continue the lesson for the next day. So another set of objectives would do. And then that would make you eliminate those congestion, because the students might get tired, might get easily worn out if all the activities are injected in just a single session. So those are just some observations. Okay, so the milk or the most essential learning competency, okay, use interjections to convey meaning, correct? And it is found on BOW. So what do you mean by BOW? Budget of work. And it's already given in depth ed. You will just locate the code. So we have here the enabling competencies, those things that students should perform. So you get it right. The references, correct? Teacher's guide pages, so learners materials, textbook pages, additional materials. Okay, so for additional materials from learning resources, so you also included the paging or the link, and then list of resources, correct? Pictures, graphic organizer, introduction. So yes, it could be in a form of motivation, review of the previous lesson, and one thing, class, you must also include the routinary activities. Since you just only have a few 15 to 20 minutes, you must just run through. For example, what would be the preliminary activities before the lesson begin? So, what would be the preliminary activities as part of the classroom management technique of the teacher? Probably a short roll call of the students,
Review.
or attendance checking if possible, or review the previous lesson. So there are lots of ways on how you establish routine in your class. So you can also discuss that before you go with observation of the pictures, the one that you have shown. But then I will discuss the strengths of Jason. So she is very prepared when it comes to the presentation. Yes, the readiness, so it's a total package. The teacher is well prepared. The presentation, the PowerPoint is well prepared. She utilized the media. And it's a really bright idea when she used herself as students to show that there's an interaction between the teacher and the student. So additional. Probably Jason is just running out of time because she has to embed all the lessons. So imagine, Jason, you have 7 objectives. Am I right? Probably your target is to finish the lesson mentioning all that objectives. But then if you had made this into 3 only, you have the elaboration. So what you forgot here is you provide wait time for the learners to generate your ideas or their ideas. For example, I call Hannah Sancheha. After 1 second, she must deliver her answer. So in that way, we violated the wait time of learners. So we can give them wait time, or for example, you can also provide instances wherein the students cannot answer the question. How will you deal with it? So it's case-to-case basis. For example, in the demo, you provided an instance wherein the learners did not hear your question or cannot answer you. What would be your reframing? You can ask another learner to rediscuss or to repeat the question for your for the classmate. So it will also test the listening skills of the learners. So we also have that 5 macro skills. Going back to the macro skills, have you allowed your learners to read? For example, there's something written on the board. Can anyone read the question or the example written on the board or the rule? So that's the macro skill of reading. Then, can anyone repeat what I have said regarding the rules, paraphrasing of the rules? So you have that listening skills. You harness the macro skill of listening. Another is when you ask your students to give examples or construct sentences and share it in class, you utilize the speaking macro skill. So what else? Reading, listening, speaking. And when you ask your students to write something on their paper or on the board, that is writing skills, or to create something out of the lesson. For example, comic strip, as you have mentioned here. So it could be in a form of writing skills as well. And the one that you have done, Jasan, you prepared a video that will summarize what interjections are all about. So it's the viewing, the fifth macro skill. So with that, you are very good because you were able to use the media. And then I will also mention, okay, so Jason, I am looking for the instance wherein you call a student, they gave a response, and then what is your feedback after the student had given the response?
Yeah, ma'am. That's my.
Okay, so this is true for everyone. Okay. So for example, it's your strength, you call your students by name. So it's good since they are grade 9. Since they are grade 9, so you must call your learners by their first name, not by their surname. So it's a general rule in principles of teaching because you created a scenario of warmth. And if you call students by their surname, it's suited for college. Okay, that's the principles of teaching. Elementary, high school, call them by names, not by surnames. So you are right, you are able to call them by their names. And then you must also respond to the answers of your students, saying that, for example, congratulations or very good, or but not always very good. Do not say very good all the time. So there are times that you must correct them, or you must say that your answer is what do you call to this, you have a point, thank you for giving that answer, but then we are looking for a specific response. And can anyone help, for example, Hannah, for her to arrive at the most exact answer? So it could be like that. So you can add that on the next demonstration, the feedback mechanism for the teachers, acknowledging the responses of the learners, because in that way, if you will not give responses, the sound would be you are just delivering the lesson but not having that interaction with your learners. And then also, I want to see the art of questioning. Do not just ask questions, for example, what is, who is. So those that are higher order thinking skills. So develop art of questioning that could enhance their way of thinking. You can also ask follow-up question for the previous question, and you can ask your students to repeat what you have said and so on. So that will make them feel that you are really having the connection with the class and with the lesson. So all in all, Jason is always performing well because she's really prepared. So those are the strengths, readiness in the presentation. And then she has a brilliant idea of using herself as the student. And then the utilization of media. So she had mentioned also the performance and content standards. And one thing, Jason, you're good in that part. You do not announce the lesson right away because it's a big crime. For example, good morning class, our lesson for today is about, it's a big crime because you must let your learners guess what the lesson would be, because you are spoiling the what do you call this? You are spoiling the flow of the lesson. So, for example, you are giving some hint, you are giving examples or a few rules, And then you let the students generalize or have the synthesis that the lesson for today is interjection. So the teacher is not the one revealing the lesson for today. Okay? So much for that critiquing overall lesson plan wise. Very good. And then delivery of the lesson. Okay, very good as well. And all in all, very good. So I just pointed out things that you should further improve. Okay, so congratulations, Jasan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so so I will be giving you back your lesson plan. You want to polish it, or you want this would be the finalized version?
I'm going to.
It's up to you. Oh, yes. And also include class. I failed to mention you it's included for October 1, 2021. So it means a single session. So the objective should not be too many if it's just a single session, because objective should be achievable within the time frame. Okay? So thank you so much, Jasan. And next, which do you prefer? Live, volunteer, or
Ma'am,
Me, ma'am. Ma'am.
Brola?
Marquez.
Hannah, you
Ma'am.
ready?
Mancinido
Sanche.
po.
Marquez? Which one? Who would be
Sanche.
the next?
Ma'am, 10 minutes lang po yung
Sanche.
akin. Gusto ko lang po.
Sancheha. Sancheha.
Gusto
Then
ko lang din pong
Marquez
makarinig
next.
ng criticism.
Okay.
Okay. Ma'am siya.
But it's positive criticism, always remember. So it's for the improvement. Okay. Okay. Sancheha, the screen is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am siya.